Hello students, this is Hardik sir. Today we will be starting our second lesson from our past standard 8 from trade to territory. When the company establishes power. The company means EEIC, that is English East India Company. So this is not a process that has happened overnight. So actually Britishers came as a small trading company and ultimately they established their power in the territories of India. So how that happened, when that happened, and all the important and major events that we will look in the lesson. So first we will start from the introduction of last powerful Mughal ruler, that was Aurangzeb. So as you have already studied Mughal Sultanate, Mughal rules, Mughal rulers during 7th standard. So as from the first line you will find Aurangzeb, who was the last powerful Mughal ruler. He was the only last powerful Mughal rulers. After him there were number of Mughal emperors, but they were not so powerful as Aurangzeb. So Aurangzeb was the sixth and the last powerful Mughal ruler. He had his control over a very large part of India, but after his death in 1707, so when he died in 1707, the different Mughal governors who were known as Subedars. So Mughal governors means Subedars and even big zamindars began asserting that authority and establishing regional kingdoms. It means these Mughal governors and zamindars ultimately declaring themselves the rulers of such small kingdoms. Means after the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, Mughal governors and Subedars started establishing their own regional kingdoms. So as powerful regional kingdoms emerged in various parts of India, because after the death of Aurangzeb, number of regional kingdoms were established, and because of the establishment of number of regional kingdoms, Delhi now was not able to function as a center, because number of other small kingdoms had established and they were also very powerful, and because of that now Delhi, which was the capital of Mughal rule, was now no longer functioning as a center part, as a central government. So by the second half of the 18th century, however, there was a change. By the second half of the century, there was a new political horizon that was emerging. The new political era was to start, that was to grow, and that was the British. So the new power which was to come into power was the power of British. So now you have a question. Did you know that British originally came as small trading company? EEIC, English East India Company. We will be finding the introduction very soon in the same lesson itself. So British originally came as a small trading company. और क्या वो they were reluctant to, नहीं चाहते थे to acquire the territories. So didn't they want to have control over the territories? But how did they become, ultimately how did they come to be the masters of such a vast empire which EEIC controlled? So that we will see in the same chapter. So that all we are going to see about in the same chapter. So British ultimately in the 18th century there was a new political era, and in that the new power was to be British. जो नया power आ रहा था that was British. पर ये सभी overnight नहीं हुआ है. It had taken a long time, and how all those things happened that we will be seeing very soon. Here you will find the picture. In the figure 1 you will find that Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was the emperor of Mughal Sultanate. So he was the last Mughal emperor. It is not so that after Aurangzeb there was no ruler, but there was no powerful Mughal ruler. But ultimately Mughal emperor continued to be very important symbolically. That means emperor had a very good respect by the time. So Bahadur Shah Zafar you can find somewhere in the picture. So Bahadur Shah Zafar and his sons were arrested by Captain Hudson, who arrested them at the time after the time of revolt of 1857. So we have already studied about revolt of 1857 in previous standard. Bahadur Shah Zafar was seen as a natural leader, and after his death, ultimately after the death of his two sons, he was also forced to leave the kingdom. उन्हें भी यहाँ से बाहर निकाल दिया गया था. Then he ultimately died there in another country. so that we have already studied in standard 7. So after the revolt of 1857 these things happened. So this is, you can find the interference of British in the regional political affairs. So this is what the main important part which you must understand. Now we will head towards the lesson. The most important part now starts, the introduction. So East India Company comes to East. As from the title you can understand that this is East and this is West, as you all know. So East India Company comes to East. So ultimately how they came, when they came, and all the important events which we are going to see now. So these all things didn't happen overnight, as I told you before also. So you will find that in 1600 East India Company acquired a charter. So charter, that is the royal order, the permission that Queen Elizabeth had given, means she granted the sole right to trade with the East. Means EEIC had the sole right, means they had no competitor. वो अकेले ही थे जिन्हें ईस्ट में ट्रेडिंग करने का राइट मिला था. सो दे हैड नो कॉम्पिटिटर. So this meant no other trading group in England could compete with East India Company. So EEIC had no competitor. And with this charter the company could venture across the oceans. यानी कई देश विदेशों में अब वो व्यापार बढ़ा सकते हैं. They will start looking for new lands from which they could buy goods at cheap price. Then they will carry them to Europe and sell at higher prices. So as they had no competitor, so they would be able to purchase the goods at very cheap prices and then will be selling them into Europe with the higher prices. So these could be the benefits. So what are such companies called? So the company didn't have fear for competition ultimately. So as they had no competition of other companies, so such trading companies, mercantile trading companies in those days made profit primarily by excluding competition. क्योंकि competition उनके business से पूरा बाहर था. So without competition they had much business to do, so they could buy at cheap and sell at dear. So काफ़ी सस्ते दामों पे चीज़ें खरीदेंगे और काफ़ी महंगे दामों पे बेचेंगे. Now a new word that you will find in the glossary here, that is mercantile. So as you can find, mercantile trading companies, mercantile, that is a business or enterprise, makes profit primarily through trade. So trading से ही mercantile companies पैसा बनाती है. But how? So buying goods at cheap and selling them at higher prices. So these are the things which are done by mercantile companies. But Royal Charter ultimately, as you have seen, that they had no competitor from England. The Royal Charter didn't mean that they had no competitor from the Europe. Means other European trading companies could enter the eastern markets. So as you can find, the Royal Charter however could not prevent other European powers. So दूसरे यूरोपियन पावर्स की दूसरी कंट्रीज ये ईस्टर्न मार्केट में ट्रेड कर सकती है. दैट मीन्स English was not the only, EEIC was not the only company to trade with the East. So by the time the first English ships sailed down the west coast of Africa around the Cape of Good Hope and crossed the Indian Ocean, जब तक ये पूरा यहाँ सफ़र करके पहुँचे, as you can find in the map as well. So जब वो यहाँ से यहाँ तक पहुँच रहे हैं around the Cape of, ultimately crossing Africa, crossing Indian Ocean and reaching India, तब तक by the time Portuguese had already arrived in India and Portuguese had already established their presence in the western coast of India. यानी उनसे पहले ऑलरेडी यूरोप से पोर्टुगीज़ आ चुके थे और उनका बेस गोवा में था. इन फैक्ट जैसा आप ऑलरेडी जानते हैं, वी हैव स्टडीड दैट वास्को द गामा, हु वाज अ पोर्टुगीज एक्सप्लोरर, हैड डिस्कवर्ड सी रूट टू इंडिया इन 1498. So in 1498 itself they had arrived, and they have arrived, means EEIC has arrived by 1600, after 1600. So by the early 17th century even the Dutch, they also had arrived. Even soon the French also arrived at the same scene, on the same scene. So now there was, you can find, there were the competitors फॉर EEIC ये सोच के आया था कि वो अकेले है यहाँ ट्रेड करने के लिए, तो बहुत सस्ते दामों पे चीज़ें खरीदेंगे और महंगे दामों पे यूरोप में बेच देंगे उसे. बट द सीन वॉज टोटली डिफरेंट. यहाँ पे उनके पहले ऑलरेडी पोर्चुगीज़ भी पहुँच चुके थे, उनके पहले ऑलरेडी फ्रेंच भी आ चुके थे और डच भी आ चुके थे. So now what was the problem? They all could trade well, but the problem was that all the companies were interested in buying the same things. यानी सभी कंपनीज को एक ही चीज़ें खरीदने में दिलचस्पी थी. अब वो कौन सी थी? तो विच वर द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग्स और विच वर द थिंग्स एक्सपोर्टेड फ्रॉम इंडिया टू यूरोप? दिस इज़ एन इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन फॉर यू ऑल्सो. So please look carefully, please watch carefully and listen carefully. The fine qualities of cotton and silk जो इंडिया में प्रोड्यूस होते थे had a big market in Europe. After that you can find that there were number of other things like pepper, cloves, cardamom and cinnamon. They were also in the great demand. So there were the number of things which were sold at higher prices in Europe. So competition amongst the European companies inevitably pushed up the prices. So because of this competition, as the demand increased, that you can understand the prices also will increase. So because of this competition, the prices of number of things were pushed up, so that the goods could be purchased at only higher prices, and because of that the profits were reduced. तो यानी कि हायर प्राइसेस पे परचेज करने की वजह से जो प्रॉफिट था वो कम होने लगा. एंड ओनली वे विच वॉज लेफ्ट नाउ फॉर ट्रेडिंग दैट वॉज टू एलिमिनेट द राइवल कंपिटिटर्स. सो अगर कंपनी को अपना ट्रेड बढ़ाना है, फ्लरिश करना है, तो अपने कंपिटिटर्स को हटाना पड़ेगा. सो दिस वॉज नाउ द ओनली वे लेफ्ट फॉर द ट्रेडर्स. सो द अर्ज टू सिक्योर मार्केट्स बिफोर therefore led to fierce battles. तो इनके बीच में ये डिफरेंट यूरोपियन पावर्स के बीच में तरह तरह की बैटल्स होना शुरू हो गई. ये ट्रेडिंग कंपनीज के बीच में हुई बैटल्स. एंड थ्रू द 17th and 18th सेंचुरी दे रेगुलरली जो एक दूसरे का जो उन्होंने किया है, दैट यू कैन सी कि अल्टीमेटली दे रेगुलरली सेंक ईच अदर्स शिप्स. एक दूसरे के जहाज को जो सप्लाई गुड्स लेके जा रहा है उसको डुबो देना, उसके रूट्स को ब्लॉक कर देना, एंड इवन टू प्रिवेंट राइवल शिप्स फ्रॉम मूविंग विद द सप्लाईज. सो ये सब चीज़ों के साथ वो अभी व्यापार नहीं होना देने चाहते थे. तो गुड्स के साथ कोई भी शिप आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता था. ऐसी ये लगातार कोशिश करते थे. एंड इवन ड्यूरिंग विद दैट जो ट्रेडिंग होता था उस वक्त शिप में आर्म्स यानी कि वेपन्स वगैरह भी रखे जाते थे. दैट मीन्स इट वाज द सिचुएशन लाइक वॉर, बैटल पे जैसे जा रहे वैसे ट्रेडिंग करते थे. सो ऑन विथ आर्म्स trading posts were protected with fortification. तो from where actually the trading used to happen, वहाँ पे भी fortification किया जाने लगा था. So the effort to fortify settlements and carry on profitable trade was also ultimately led to intense conflict with local rulers. क्योंकि जहाँ fortifications करना शुरू किए तो यहाँ के इंडिया के जो local rulers थे उन्हें ये बात एक्चुअली हजम नहीं हुई. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दे हैड ऑल्सो कन्फ्लिक्ट विद द लोकल रूलर्स एंड द कंपनी देयरफॉर फाउंड इट नाउ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू सेपरेट ट्रेड फ्रॉम पॉलिटिक्स. इट मीन्स नाउ द कंपनी हैड टू एंटर द पॉलिटिक्स. यानी यहाँ के लोकल रूलर्स के रूल में इंटरफियर करना अब ज़रूरी हो चुका था. और ये कैसे हुआ, हाउ डिड इट हैपन, दैट वी विल बी सीइंग इन द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. थैंक यू. कीप लर्निंग.